Jack Harrison had just inherited one of the largest private buffalo ranches in Montana. For generations, the land had been home to hundreds of American bison. Everything on the ranch was legal, carefully managed, and deeply respected. Jack believed he was simply continuing his family's proud legacy. Every morning, Jack inspected miles of fencing and pasture. The buffalo moved peacefully across the open grasslands. The ranch had operated successfully for decades without serious conflict. Life felt calm and predictable. A newly developed HOA community had recently been built beside one edge of the ranch. Many homeowners loved the unique wildlife views. Others quickly began complaining about living next to working ranch land. Those complaints soon reached the HOA president. Rebecca Collins believed the buffalo didn't belong near the neighborhood. She insisted they frightened potential home buyers. Instead of discussing solutions, she immediately prepared official HOA paperwork. Her first demand would surprise everyone. Rebecca arrived carrying what she called an official violation notice. She demanded every buffalo be removed within 14 days. Jack looked at the letter, then quietly smiled. He knew something Rebecca didn't. The notice claimed the animals created an unacceptable neighborhood nuisance. It warned of daily fines if Jack failed to comply. Jack calmly folded the letter and placed it in his pocket. He asked one simple question: "Does the HOA own my ranch?" Jack calmly opened a leather folder containing every legal document. The property deed clearly showed the ranch had existed decades before the HOA. Rebecca barely glanced at the paperwork. She insisted the HOA's rules still applied. Rebecca argued that the buffalo scare homeowners and reduce property values. Jack listened without interrupting. When she finished, he politely explained that the ranch had always been there. The neighborhood had been built beside the ranch, not the other way around. Not every resident agreed with Rebecca. Many families enjoyed seeing the buffalo every day. Children often stopped to admire the herd from a fence. The ranch had become one of the area's most recognizable landmarks. Jack continued his daily routine without changing anything. The buffalo were healthy, calm, and carefully cared for. Years of responsible ranch management spoke for themselves. He wasn't about to abandon his family's legacy. Rebecca called an emergency HOA meeting that evening. She demanded immediate action against the ranch. Several board members questioned whether the HOA actually had authority. The room quickly filled with disagreement. County maps were placed on the conference table. The ranch boundaries clearly extended far beyond HOA property. Some board members quietly exchanged worried looks. Rebecca refused to reconsider her position. Rather than argue endlessly, Jack visited his attorney. Michael Brooks carefully reviewed every deed and survey. He smiled after reading the documents. The legal position appeared very strong. The attorney explained that the ranch had long-established legal protections. Every permit and survey had been properly recorded. Jack had done nothing wrong. The advice was simple: document everything. To remove any doubt, Jack requested an independent land survey. Emily Carter carefully located every original boundary marker. Each measurement matched the official county records. The results left little room for dispute. Emily presented the completed survey. The entire buffalo operation remained well inside Jack's property. Rebecca's claim had no support in the official measurements. Even so, she refused to give up. After receiving several complaints, Sheriff Daniel Ross visited the ranch. He spoke respectfully with both sides. His goal was simply to understand the facts. Everyone knew the conversation would be important. The sheriff carefully reviewed every document. The paperwork consistently identified Jack as the lawful owner. Nothing suggested the HOA controlled the ranch. Rebecca became increasingly frustrated. Sheriff Ross reminded Rebecca that property disputes must follow the law. Neighborhood preferences alone couldn't change ownership. He encouraged everyone to remain respectful. The warning was clear and professional. Jack decided to increase security around the ranch entrance. Additional cameras would record every visitor. He wanted accurate records rather than unnecessary arguments. Preparation was becoming his greatest advantage. Rebecca wasn't ready to admit defeat. She drafted another formal notice demanding compliance. This time, her language was even stronger. She believed pressure would force Jack to surrender. As the sun dipped below the Montana hills, Jack looked across the land his family had protected for generations. The buffalo moved peacefully across the open prairie. He knew the coming days would test his patience, but he was determined to defend his ranch through lawful and responsible action. Attorney Brooks organized every document into a complete legal file. The ranch deeds dated back nearly a century. Each record confirmed the property existed long before the HOA. The evidence was becoming impossible to dispute. The zoning maps clearly separated the ranch from the HOA. Different regulations governed each property. Nothing gave the HOA authority over Jack's livestock. The legal picture became even clearer. Rebecca called another emergency board meeting. She insisted the ranch was damaging the neighborhood's image. Some directors questioned the growing legal expenses. Others worried the dispute had gone too far. The board carefully reviewed the county records. Several members realized the HOA's authority stopped at the neighborhood entrance. Continuing the dispute carried significant legal risks. The room became noticeably quieter. Jack focused on caring for the ranch instead of the arguments. The buffalo remained healthy and calm. Daily ranch operations continued without interruption. His attention stayed on the work that mattered most. Many residents began visiting the fence to watch the buffalo. Families enjoyed seeing the animals in their natural environment. Conversations about removing the herd slowly faded. Public opinion started to shift. Emily completed the final boundary verification. New markers made the property lines even easier to identify. The official survey removed any remaining uncertainty. Jack thanked her for the thorough work. A certified letter arrived at Rebecca's office. It formally requested that any attempts to interfere with the ranch cease immediately.